everyone, and welcome to this week's Naked Truth. Trisha Hershberger here, and I am joined by special guest Bianca Gisselle.
Hi.
Yay! But before we talk, go away, Bianca. No, I'm kidding. Before we talk to Bianca, I want to say a big thank you to the Naked Army vloggers from last week who did their own Naked Truths on strippers. That's Chris Kavaja, Nerwin, Colin, Dominic, Christopher, Hiram, Tom, Prescott, and Kristen, Lawrence, Carly, James, Allie, Jenny, and Michael. If you want to check out their Naked Truth vlogs, I will link to those in the description below. But now back to Bianca. Hi,
Hi.
Bianca. Bianca, for people who do not know the wonderful, lovely Bianca Gisselle that I know, where can they find you? What is the stuff that they might know you from?
So I also have a YouTube channel where I do mostly musical things. I'm a singer-songwriter and an actress, and on my channel I've got a weekly series. It's called Music Mondays, where I upload a new music video every Monday, which is really fun. And I just released a new EP that I'm so excited about, and it's on iTunes and Spotify. It's called Get Back to Love, and I'm just super thrilled that it's out in the world.
I know that song. I got to hear that song before you released your EP.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. So you guys might not know this, but Bianca and I have been friends for a really long time. We met doing theater together, actually, and Bianca introduced me to Nate. So it's her fault that Nate and I are together. So whatever comes from that is all Bianca's fault.
Well, they have to
Um,
name their first child after me, whether it's a
yes.
boy or a girl. So,
Can we do Bianca if it's a boy, or does it have to be Bianca?
I mean, I feel like the world is like more open-minded now, so you could name it Bianca if you wanted to. Name him
Okay.
Bianca if you wanted to.
Name him. Him or she or it.
Or it. Okay.
Perfect. Well, yeah, I had a couple people write in asking me about music, and since Bianca does music-y stuff way better than anyone I know, and that's not, like, I'm not just being nice right now, she's incredibly talented. You're incredibly talented.
Trish, thanks, Trish.
Yeah, Bianca's one of those people that like just naturally is super, super good at anything musical, and you're just like, ah, I'm so jealous all the time. But that means that she's the perfect person to have on the Naked Truth on music. So Sean Laidley wrote in and said, would you do a Naked Truth on music? I see the guitar in the background and think it would be a fun, lighthearted topic. Definitely more lighthearted than last week, and there is no guitar on the wall right now because Nate had guitar lessons and that's his. But Hiram also wrote in and said, I'd like to suggest the topic music. When did you get into it? What do you like? What are your top five, etc.? So, Bianca, let's go ahead and jump off with Hiram's question. What got you into music?
Um, I come from my family is very musically oriented. They love to dance, they love to sing. There's lots of music always happening at like holidays and things like that when the whole family's together. So I think I just grew up with music around me all the time, and just listening to all kinds of music. I mean, I'm Puerto Rican, and so I grew up with salsa and merengue, but I also grew up with like a healthy dose of like pop music, and like my dad was into like rock bands back in the 80s and things like that too. So I think I grew up with like a good foundation of all things musical. So.
Yeah. And at what point in your life were you like, I want to do music as a career?
I feel like it's always been that way. My mom says that like I first started singing when I was like a baby or something. Like I would hum along. I mean, who knows if that's true, but I would like hum along to the radio.
You're in the womb, like, what's up, mom?
Yeah. So I've always loved singing and performing and like doing like little shows in my living room and putting on my mom would like make me little costumes just to wear around the house. I mean, it was ridiculous, but
That's a
I
good
feel like
mom.
it was always like that, like I always wanted to do something musical. So,
Now, see, I had like a similar situation to Bianca as a kid, except for the not good performance version of it. Because when I was little, I was into Billy Ray Cyrus' Achy Breaky Heart. I was into Raffi's children's songs, Baby Beluga, shout out if any of you there are like, I know Raffi. He's awesome. And musical theater. So I was like the little kid running around my house, no costumes, doing like Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, playing all the roles. I do all of the brothers really well, for the record.
that's
Um,
awesome. That is a talent.
yeah, it wasn't very good though, I'm sure. Like, I'm sure that my parents were like, oh, here she goes again. And I'm like, no, guys, it's a 2.5 hour musical. Like, just be
Isn't that the, like,
prepared.
that's how you know good parents is when they're just like you're just like singing the same song over and over and over again, and they're like, uh-huh, that's great, honey, that's great, uh-huh. You just know, like,
Yeah.
in their head they want to like pull their hair out, but they're just being the best ever and just dealing with it.
Except for your parents that I imagine were like, she's so good. She's so talented.
And I feel like once you sing one song like 300 times in an afternoon, I'm sure it's not fun anymore.
That's true. That's true. Although I think kids are always adorable. Okay, so fast forward from kids to today. What is your current favorite song? What are you jamming out to right now?
I'm jamming out to a lot of things. I always love listening to lots of different kinds of music, even now. So I think the song that I'm really jamming out to right now is Jen Wigmore's new song.
What
It's
is
off her
that?
record. It's called Written in the Water.
Okay.
And she is a artist from New Zealand, Australia, who I was lucky enough to actually sing backgrounds on her new record, which was really cool because I'm such a big fan. But yeah, she's got a new song called "Written in the Water" that's on off of her new record that's coming out, I think, later this week or next week, and it's
Okay.
so good, and I highly recommend it to.
Yeah, would any of us have heard it anywhere?
I don't think so yet because it just came out. I mean, you could have heard it on, online and stuff, but her music's been everywhere. Her last record was on a bunch of TV shows and commercials and things like that. She was on Ellen. She's toured around the world. I mean,
Nice.
she's awesome. So, yeah, it's a great song. You guys should check it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what my favorite song is right now, and like you're right, that's a totally hard question. I don't I don't know if I have one right now. Is that horrible?
Yes, the world is going to end right this second. You don't pick a song.
No, well, the music I've been listening to lately is all stuff for the wedding. So I'm listening to like potential daddy daughter dance songs and
Yeah, love.
potential first dance songs and all that kind of stuff. So like the songs that are in my head right now are a very specific genre and they're not necessarily songs that I want to listen to on repeat because I tend to really like happy music, as Bianca knows. I like that like make you dance in the car music. That's what makes me happy. That or really emotional music. Like
Like Moulin Rouge.
Matchbox 20 is always like a good example for me because Rob Thomas sings with such like he has such angst. You can feel it when he sings. So yeah, super emotion or really happy make you dance songs are what I normally go for. What do you normally go for?
I feel like it depends on my mood, honestly. I mean, I feel like that's for everybody. Like, I think it depends on how I'm feeling that day. Recently, it's been a lot of I've been really I've been really listening to like a lot of new stuff. Like I haven't been listening to things on repeat a lot, which sometimes I just feel like after listening to the same artist for a while or same sets of artists for a while, I just like go through a purge where I just want to like listen to anything that I've never heard before. So I'm listening to like a lot of on Spotify, like the viral playlist.
Okay.
Which you hear like a ton of great songs before they become super popular.
Oh, I would think the
So
viral playlist would be like things that are popular now, like top 40. No?
no, they're like stuff that's like, well, from what I understand, it seems like stuff that people are like finding through YouTube or on or other sources online that's not like top 40 stuff. So like for example, like there's this band Walk the Moon. They were on the viral playlist before Shut Up and Dance was even like playing on mainstream radio.
I love Shut Up and
I love that
Dance.
song. Yeah, me too. So like that's kind of like a cool way to like hear what a lot of people are into right now, but that hasn't necessarily gone into mainstream because mainstream is just money and commercials anyway. It doesn't really
Yeah,
mean good music most of the time.
totally.
So I feel like the viral playlist is pretty cool to listen to. So I think that's what I've sort of been listening to. I realize that's not really a good answer, but
That's okay. That's your answer today. The naked truth is all about being honest and open, and what your answer is today. How is it to be naked on the internet, by the way?
you know, it's actually like really liberating. Like I feel like a little part of me was a little nervous, and then I was like, this actually feels kind of nice. I mean, I'm like naked in my house most days anyway, so
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like you're the type of person that's just like a total free spirit around your house anyway. Are you sitting on the floor right now?
I am sitting on the floor. That's why I keep fidgeting. I'm sorry.
Are
My
you like bare butt on your floor?
um yeah. Is that weird?
I sit on a washcloth so that I don't have to sit on the leather seat. But hey, it's not weird if you don't think it's weird. It's your house.
It'd be weird if like someone saw me sitting
Yes.
bare butt on the floor, but I'm fine.
Good. Okay. So speaking of embarrassing things, what's like your biggest guilty pleasure song that you're listening to right now?
I feel like there's I feel like I just keep going back to like Call Me Maybe or some Taylor Swift or something like old Taylor Swift. I feel like I always keep coming back to those songs.
Well, Bianca, you were the one that introduced me to Call Me Maybe before. Bianca introduced me to Call Me Maybe before it was on the radio. And she was like, hey, you have to hear the
So
song. It's so cheesy, but
ridiculously
it's so fun,
good.
and I know you're going to like it. And we were in her car, and she turns it on, and I was like, yeah, this is a good time. I love this. And then, no joke, like 2 or 3 days later, it was all over the radio. So now I go to Bianca for, I guess, that viral playlist stuff that's going to be big soon. Bianca's the go to for that.
Yeah, I feel like that song for me like encapsulates like a certain time in our lives, like jamming out in your convertible and
Yeah.
screaming that song out, and we're like clearly women who should not be listening to that song, but whatever, it's great.
Whatever, life's short, have fun,
Exactly.
enjoy it. Okay, so we've talked a lot about what kind of music we listen to as a music consumer. But when it comes to being a music creator, there's so many fascinating things we can talk about there that like I personally have no idea about because I don't create music. What's the earliest song you invented that you can remember?
Oh my God. I mean, I said like when I first realized we're like really like sitting down writing songs like in a notebook and all that stuff and like
Hmm.
getting together with friends. I think I was like 12 when I was doing that.
Awesome.
I mean, I don't really remember my first song, but I'm sure it had something to do with like I don't know, that guy I had a crush on or
Hmm. Love
teen angst or
songs.
something. I also grew up in the church too, so I'm sure there was some, religious aspects in some of those songs too.
Oh, wow.
But I feel like, yeah, I don't remember my first song. It's been so long. And plus, at that stage, I would just spit out everything in my head. So I would like come up with all these songs. And I mean, were any of them good? I don't know, but I can't pinpoint like which one was my first one. So.
So when you think about making songs, I mean, I always say like when you're making YouTube videos or um, if you're writing scripts or whatever, like you're going to have a bunch of stinkers. So anticipate that you're going to have a bunch of stinkers. They're not all going to be pieces of gold. Is it the same way with songs?
Oh, totally. Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get songs that like write themselves,
Hmm.
which are the best kinds of songs. But then sometimes it's like you come up with like this amazing hook that you like or like chorus that you like, but you cannot figure out for the life of you like what's a good pre-chorus or what's a good verse to go with it or what's a good
Right.
transition. So I feel like, especially with this last EP that I did, it was the first time that I co-wrote it, the entire thing. Normally, I just write completely by myself and kind of present the song to the producer, and then we go from there. But this was the first time that I co-wrote all the songs with my producer, and um, that was really interesting because like I would come up with an idea, and then he would come up with an idea, and so sometimes my original idea was scrapped, which kind of hurts my ego a little bit.
Okay.
Um, but then, his idea was even better than what I had originally, and vice versa. So I feel like, yeah, you always will have these songs that are just like I don't know. I feel like that's why I love songwriting because it's always a challenge, and it's always like you're constantly working on stuff,
Yeah.
and you're constantly thinking of ways to make it better, and it's just working that creative muscle. So, yeah, you always have shit songs.
So if there's people out there who absolutely adore music, it means the world to them, and they want to create music, how would you suggest that they get started? Like kind of going from a hobbyist that's making up songs about, the person you have a crush on to now I'm working with a producer and actually writing songs. Like what is that in between area?
Um, I mean, I think the internet now has changed so much for the better for artists and songwriters.
Hmm.
There's so many outlets now that you can use to your advantage, especially like whether you do have some, songs under your belt, like a few, and you're just kind of looking for a producer, get on SoundCloud, get on
Hmm.
YouTube, get on a lot of those, music chat rooms and things like that to like share music and things like that. And but if you're not at that stage yet and you just have stuff on a sheet of paper. You can still write songs with your iPhone, or your
Hmm.
any kind of easy recording device. And I feel like just continuing to be social and network with it is
Right.
really what's gonna introduce you to other people as songwriters, producers, so that you can continue to grow with them as well.
That's awesome.
Answer?
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. And are open mic nights still a thing?
Yeah, that's a great way to get in front of just getting used to an audience. Yeah, just doing open mic nights, playing at like local cafes.
Hmm.
That's totally still a thing, and that's a great way for sure to showcase music and just be used to playing live, which is completely different than playing in your living room. So.
And I imagine it probably gives you a good way to like test out your material. Like, I mean, is it like that? Because I mean, when you do stand up comedy, you're testing out jokes, and if the audience snores the whole time, you should probably change your set.
Totally.
Is it the same way when you're playing live music, or is everyone just kind of like polite in the audience? Like, oh yeah, great.
I feel like it depends. On open mic nights, people are normally really supportive.
Yeah,
So no one's gonna not like unlike stand-up comedy where no one's gonna laugh. I feel
right.
like people are still gonna applaud you at the end of your song. Um, so for that, it's good to be a part of that sort of like fellowship of like other songwriters and people performing in front of open mic night. I think once you get become friends with people, then you can be like, so what did you think about that chorus? Or what did you, because I feel like people, from my experience, I mean, maybe there are some really blunt people out there, which I'm sure there are. From my experience, no one really tells you like, oh, you should change that transition right there,
Right.
unless you're like on a level with them.
Right.
But yeah, I totally recommend open mics because I feel like you still feel it, like in the audience. They might not
Right.
tell you, like, "Ooh, that was a weird song," but you can kind of feel it, like, "Oh man, they weren't really into this part."
Yeah, if people are like moving in the
Yeah,
audience, I get that.
yeah, yeah, totally.
That's cool. So, why do you personally make music?
I feel like it's something that has always been a part of who I am. So
Hmm.
I feel like it's just always an outlet that I've had or that I've needed to express myself. There was one point in my life where I kind of was focusing on other things and I sort of put music on the back burner and I became like really depressed and just really sad. And I mean, there were other things happening in my life too. Like there was a lot of change happening and stuff that I wasn't used to. So I didn't realize it until I was started, really writing again and performing again that this whole release happened for me. And I just
Hmm.
realized that like, oh, I actually really need to continue to do this, whether it's just in my personal life or whatever,
Yeah.
because I need that for myself, for like my soul or something. I know that sounds so cliche and cheesy, but it's true. Like I need that creative outlet that way. That's not only acting but music as well, because I feel like music's a little bit more personal and a little bit more me in it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I feel like that's sort of why I need music. I just need an outlet. I need to express myself. Otherwise, I'd be a very unhappy person.
Well, and I think a lot of people use music like that. Like, I think about times in my life where I kind of used music to therapize myself. I think everyone can relate to like having a breakup CD to help you get through the tough times, or
Alanis Morissette.
yeah, or having the pump you up CD, like for when
Totally.
you're happier, you just need to get pumped up for something. Like, I really do feel like music can control your emotions so much, which is why it doesn't sound cliche to me when you say that making music is like your form of self therapy in a way.
Well, and that's what's so great about like just art in general, whether it's
Hmm.
music or movies or, actual visual art. It's like it always pulls you out of your own world for a second
Hmm.
and kind of gives you a break from whatever's happening in real life and makes you imagine or makes you believe in other things or makes you feel other things than what you're feeling in that moment. And that's what I love about all things creative and all things art.
Is it awful that when you said that, all I could immediately think was, do you believe in magic?
Trisha, I was trying to be really deep and emotional, and you ruined it.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. You're always super deep and emotional.
Well, when I
And
and I thought of Puff the Magic Dragon, so I guess
there
I'm
you
not
go.
or any far off.
Not terribly far. Okay, awesome. Well, Bianca, if people want to check out more of your music, if they haven't already heard it on my videos, if you see music by Bianca Gisselle in the description of any of my videos, this is the Bianca Gisselle that provided said music. She also did some buzzer stuff with me and is in my Tipsy Tower video and the engagement video she's into. So Bianca's all over my channel, but if you want to see her on her channel, what is that channel, Bianca?
It is youtube.com/Bianca Gisselle, and Gisselle is spelt with two S's and two L's. And then I'm also on Twitter at Bianca Gisselle, Instagram at Bianca Gisselle, Facebook, Spotify, and please follow me on Spotify. That would be so awesome.
Is Spotify the most important one for you as a music creator?
Um, that's a tough question because I feel like YouTube is a big platform too for me. The only thing that with YouTube is that it's more covers, which I love to do. But as far as like original music goes, all that's like on Spotify and iTunes. So yeah, as far as like original music, for sure, Spotify is the way to go.
Well, and YouTube's awesome, but like for you specifically as a YouTube musician, you're like just starting to get that ball rolling. So I
Yeah,
wonder, like, as a musician, do you start first on SoundCloud or somewhere else or
for sure.
Spotify?
Well, some people actually do both because YouTube is so easy, you know. But some people do both, like SoundCloud and YouTube, because they're both easy to get into. Spotify is a little different. It's sort of like iTunes and Pandora and stuff. You have to like go through a whole distribution process or a company, so it's a little different. But yeah, SoundCloud's awesome too because you can comment and you can like follow other musicians and other
Yeah.
creators and stuff. So it's pretty cool too.
And so, yeah, so if you guys are either aspiring musicians or you just want to check out good music or you have questions for Bianca, hit her up at her stuff, and I'm sure she'll be happy to help, yeah?
Yeah, let's chat. I'm
She's
totally.
a very nice gal. I've known her for a while. All right, guys. Well, my question for you guys this week is if you were to create music, what type of music would you create? Obviously, if you already are a music creator, share your music with the world in the next Naked Truth video. And just remember, guys, if it's your first Naked Truth, make sure that you don't show any of the sexy bits because the Naked Truth is about you and it's you feeling vulnerable. It's not for the viewer, it's for you, the vlogger. And you can send that to me using the For Business Inquiries link in the About section of this channel. Guys, go check out Bianca. Bianca, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yay! And everybody make music. Make the world a better place.
Yes.
Bye, guys.